That's us, Kumu Kahua Theater, downtown Honolulu. This is what our building used to look like. It's King Kamehameha V's post office. This photo is from 1885. The area has changed quite a bit, but our building really hasn't. Here we are today. This is us by day. Merchant Street is a one-way street, so we want to make sure you recognize us from this angle if you're driving by during the day. This is what we look like at night with our beautiful dynamic lighting. The entrance to the theater is actually over to the right in this photo. Our beautiful lanai serves as our lobby in the evening. This is what we look like every night there's a performance. We are sometimes known as the Rubber Slipper Theater. It's a casual environment, and all of the work that you will see at Kumu Kahua Theater is written by and about people here. Our work began in 1971 when a group of playwriting students at the University of Hawaii, Manoa, wanted a place to put their work on stage. So they decided to start it themselves. Our founder, Dr. Dennis Carroll, was a very resounding voice in the movement toward this type of work. He was actually originally from Australia, where it was normal for the government to support theater by and about the people. And we are just so fortunate that he brought that expectation, that mentality to us. And he was such a strong voice in favor of it. And people gathered around that work and started this amazing theater. We are just wrapping up the 51st season of our work. We have a show called Blue, written by Will Kahele, that opens a little bit later this month. And so you still have some time to check out our 51st season, and we'll be announcing the 52nd season soon. The subject matter of our plays has ranged from shows like this one about the 442nd and the 100th Battalion. This is a wonderful, silly, and hilarious murder mystery that took place on the other side of Rabbit Island, which a lot of us have never seen over there, so it was at least plausible there might be a mansion over there where a mystery occurred. One of the things we firmly believe in is that everyone has a story within them, and the stories within the people of Hawaii are very important, and really, that is why we exist. We believe that our artists express our shared humanity, and it's important for us to witness that and thereby process our humanity together. And there's something really magical about going to a theater and watching a live show that a film, we love films, but it's something that a film can just not give you. After the ballistic missile scare a few years ago, we reached out to our playwrights and asked them to write something based on the events of that 38 minutes. We got an outpouring of wonderful scripts, 26 of them, that we were later able to put into a book that's still available at the theater. And we produced a show that summer that included several of those scripts, and it also, the second act of that show was improvisation based on audience suggestions. So our audience not only got a chance to witness what other people wrote about it, but they were literally a part of creating the second act, and that show was just amazing. That when people are brought together and asked to share their experiences, well, that's just what we're all about. At Kumu Kahua, we have opportunities for people to get involved as actors and directors and writers. We also have designers of properties and costumes and lights and our set. We have technicians who run all of that for the actual performances. We have volunteers who help us administratively as well as during actual productions. No one is ever turned away. We are first and foremost a community theater, and that doesn't just mean that we're non-professional in that we're not paying professional equity wages for the work, unfortunately. But we are here for the community to see our productions and also participate in our productions. Now, not everyone, that was a talk story after a show with a playwright and director. Not everyone is ready to get on stage, and a lot of people come to us to audition and they want to be on the stage. We will always find an opportunity for people to be involved somehow, even if they're not on stage. So people who come to audition are encouraged to attend our classes. More about that a little bit later. But also perhaps they can stay with us as a director's assistant and learn a lot more about the process of mounting a show that way and get to know people and be a part of our amazing teams for our productions. And then maybe they come back the next time and they audition and there is a role that's right for them. I always like to tell people, audition, 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 audition. The show may not have a role for you, and it may be just simply you're not a good match with the person who's supposed to be playing your brother. That sort of thing happens all the time. But it never hurts to audition, and being involved in the theater is being involved in the theater in any capacity. We're really lucky that we have so many amazing people who are willing to give their time, their talent, and their love to the theater to continue bringing these amazing productions to you. I can tell from my personal story, I wanted to work with a theater that was solely devoted to people within its geographic footprint. I came from the Midwest, the Chicago region, and I never imagined then that the only theater I would find in the United States with that sole purpose was going to be in Hawaii. But look, we ended up together. That's how singular we are. There are a couple of other theaters you'll find who have a mission of devotion to people of their geographic footprint, but they'll also often throw in other shows slightly outside of that mission. Kumu Kahua Theater is still the only theater I know of that produces a full season of shows year after year devoted to the people of the place in which that theater is located. This show is about soldiers in the 442nd and the 100th Battalion. All That Remains by Mona Z. Smith. That's the sort of incredibly moving work that you will find at Kumu Kahua Theater that will resonate with you. In March of 2020, we decided to temporarily shutter our doors at Kumu Kahua Theater because we saw the writing on the wall with the pandemic, and we wanted to make sure that we kept everyone safe. So a few days before the governor's shutdown decree, we went ahead and closed, and we were about to open a show. 4 days later, we were supposed to open The Conversion of Ka'ahumanu by Victoria Nalani Nubel. So we did a few things, like we did with the ballistic missile scare. We started working on ways to engage our artists during that time when we all had to be in our homes. So the show, Conversion of Ka'ahumanu, those actors and their stage manager started rehearsing in Zoom just to keep the show alive. they would get together and just go over their lines and talk story, and they were in a holding pattern waiting for us to be able to open the theater again. As our COVID numbers went up and down and our restrictions went up and down, we surveyed our audiences and asked if they would like us to try to produce theater digitally. And the majority of them said, no, thank you. We were meeting via Zoom. We were learning a lot about it, but we knew our audiences just weren't ready for us to attempt a full show that way. However, we put together one evening of storytellers via Zoom, and more than 1,000 people tuned in to watch that. That was in May of 2020, and we realized then that, okay, people need this. It may not be the type of theater you really want to see, but maybe we can figure out to do something to continue to serve our mission outwardly, not just inwardly through classes and workshops and other things that we were running via Zoom. It so happened that in June of 2020, with all of the unrest that was going on in this country, we were contacted by a woman who runs a theater in New Jersey, who her theater is devoted to people of the Caribbean in the same way that our theater is devoted to people of Hawaii, although hers is mostly focused on diaspora. We joined with her and another theater in New York, also devoted to people of the Caribbean. We asked our playwrights to write pieces that we could perform live via Zoom for our audiences. And oh boy, the work that we got was just amazing. We engaged a theater person who is also a gaming geek who taught us how we might be able to produce theater live via Zoom using people all over the country for people all over the world. And for the 5 Fridays in July of 2020, we produced something like 20 new pieces that were watched by over 10,000 people. And that's when we knew we have to, there is a hunger for this, there is an audience for this. So we produced our entire 50th season live performances streamed via Zoom for audiences throughout the state of Hawaii and in 36 states and 8 countries in the world. We had an amazing outpouring of love, especially from our Hawaiian diaspora, from people on Molokai and people on the North Shore of Oahu who just weren't able to see our shows when they were in person. We realized it is important that we continue this work in some way, even though we were all very anxious to get back into our theater. And we were able to bring the conversion of Ka'ahumanu, a fully produced production of it, to our stage with limited seating, but still, there we were. And that began our journey back. But recognizing that we still had this worldwide audience, we began working with Olelo TV. They now come in and film all of our productions, and they edit them and make them look beautiful. And those are still available to our worldwide audience. And in just a little bit here, I'm going to queue up some actual clips for you to watch of the work that we've been doing. These include the productions of our 50th season and moving into our 51st season. Some of these productions, most of these productions, all of our actors were in their homes, absolutely separate. As our COVID numbers and our restrictions waxed and waned, we have one performance that includes some filmed work that was included in live performances, and the show #HallyBoyfriend, you'll see all of our we turned our theater into a soundstage. All of our actors were in their own bubble inside the theater, and our audiences were online only. You'll also see a promo piece for a couple of promo pieces for Reset. Those are the shows that we did with theaters in. The first year was with 2 theaters in New York and New Jersey. The second season was a theater in New Jersey. And we also collaborated with a theater in Chicago and Theater Moo in Minneapolis. And then you're going to see some B-roll from our shows that will give you a little bit of a taste of what we've been up to. And the final piece is from the conversion of Ka'ahumanu. And I want you to know that our ambition with these shows got greater and greater as we figured out what we can do. We were able to spread our artistic wings with it more and more each time. We got pretty sophisticated with our work. You will, in the clip of conversion of Ka'ahumanu, this is the first time that Olelo TV came in and filmed in the theater. We had a few little sound issues with that show. I hope you don't find it too distracting. That was the first show they filmed with us. They recently filmed the second show, and they learned a lot and were able to make some improvements with that. So I hope you'll be able to enjoy all of these. We have continued through all of this to nurture and encourage our playwrights and nurture our artists. We have a new series of education that is going to be offered to our artists quite soon. We're so happy that we can continue to bring our work to people all over the world, and we welcome you to Kumu Kahua Theater. We would love for you to visit us online. A lot of our digital work is available at kumukahua.org. Take a class with us. Some of those will be available via Zoom, and come down and see us in person.
The safety, I wait for it to come, but it doesn't. I love being in the air. From way up there, the jungle was breathtaking. The treetops so green, so beautiful, so peaceful. You could almost forget about what was beneath. But just a single tour of duty in Vietnam, I was back home.
Good morning, boy.
Hi, Mama. Good morning, Lorna.
Boy, why didn't you go with Daddy?
Grandma, how do you know if somebody really loves you?
I love you, Teresa. Now, hurry up so I can use the toilet.
Not that kind of love. The other kind love.
Jesus loves you too. Now, hurry up.
No, I mean like romantic kind love.
Oh, that kind. That's the junk kind. It comes and goes too fast. Don't waste your time.
Well, how can you say that? Weren't you in love with Grandpa?
Sure. Back in high school, your grandfather was all-state running back. Wow. But nowadays, after we got married, the only running he does nowadays is getting primo beer.
You don't love Grandpa?
I love him because he's family, but doesn't exactly ring my bell, so hurry up.
I have to fix the other side so it's even, and then I have to spray everything so it doesn't move.
My brother was like Junior Boy. All kinds kinds of messed up in the head. He was 14, only 14 years old.
Make sure to hit that subscribe, and we will all soon be on the mauna together. Okay, bye now. Hey girl, how's it going on Big Island?
Girl, people say Hawaii Island now, or Ononoyakea. That's the ancient name for Mokokiape. Big Island is not the island's name.
I totally get that, but for everyday conversation, I don't know, saying Big Island, well, it feels more affectionate.
Only Oahu people and Haole say Big Island.
I totally forgot you were coming, so sorry. Must be on Hawaiian time.
All the time.
It's cool. Yeah, we're just getting to know each other.
It's sort of about a girl who goes away to college and is struggling, and that whole experience. So I appreciate the simplicity, but really intense, hard-hitting content of her writing.
What? You get nothing better for do? Well, your friends. Well, why you not go out with them? Yeah, living it up while you can, eh? That's what young buggers like do.
Praise him, all creatures near below. Praise him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Host.
In 1815, I, Sybil Mosley, felt the calling of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I confessed my faith before the congregation, and now cling to the bosom of the church. Though I am a sinner, I now have hope that God will call me his own and receive me at his right hand.
Kamehameha unified these islands. He forged a great power, and we, his loyal ali'i. We will remain keepers of that power, and we will no longer share them with the priestly class. We do not need the kahuna to declare kapu and offer sacrifices. And here is another thing. For many years now we have seen these haole, these foreign men among us. We know that they break the kapu. Do the gods come to punish them? No. Women have gone to the ships and have eaten with these haole men. Do the gods come to punish them? No.
News of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Why should I care for the news of someone I don't even know?
Well, he is God, the blessed Son of...
I do not wish to hear of a God. I have finished with God's power, and the king has spoken these things to the people. We want no gods. The gods brought only sorrow and unhappiness, and we will not have that again. Let us speak of other things.
Well, yes, but our God is...
You will tell Mrs. Bingham something for me?
What is that?
Tell her it is summertime.
Aloha mai koa. And may the old gods watch over your life.
Kumu Kahua na uli o ke kai na ano lani kau oku na ngani o ka onai kuno ha'ako kahunua na uli uli oke kai na ano ni kauhoku na nani o ka ona.
Yes, I have listened to you, my brothers. Now hear my thoughts. The foreigners are among us. Many more will come. Beware, some will come like the hordes of caterpillars, hiding their hunger to devastate the land as we know it, until the time when all the Hawaiian people may be trodden underfoot. We have seen this greed already with the sandalwood trade. Fight now with our quick thoughts and grasp of foreign ways. To think too long on the ways of the past is to ignore the hungry sharks that swim among us. Do not look to the past with contempt, but seek to preserve the ways that were good, uniting them with what is good of this new world that comes to us. Now,
E pua ana kamakani la e ai, ina hala